Welcome back to ThurmanVikings Podcast. Thank you for listening. I just found out, before I start, I just want to say this. I just found out this app is wonderful. Like, Anchor has done a good job with this app because you can go through, it has a section called Analytics. And you can see who, what, when, and where is listening to your podcast, which I love it. Like, all the different platforms we on, Spotify, Rebel Radio, of course on Anchor. I think it's a couple of more on there. I really haven't. It don't come to mind. But I also find out that most of our listeners come from the United States. We got some in Canada. Shout out to Canada. Some in Singapore. Shout out to Singapore. And there was one more place. But thank y'all for listening. And today's topic will be about people who give bad advice, mislead and misguide, who are misguided themselves. So I guess I'm gonna let you kick it off.
So last night we was watching a video. You said,
a YouTube video.
A YouTube video of a YouTuber of this guy we've been watching for a long time. And we both kind of love him at times, but hate him at times. And then he was speaking on this girl that it's like she fake try to have like be a life coach.
Yeah.
And the question came up as how can people be a life coach to other people and their life is fucked up? Exactly.
So how can you give relationship advice when you single?
How can you give money advice if you broke?
True. and that's my case. That's how I feel like this is no ill attack to. Her name is Soncerae. So this is not an attack on this lady. This is more of, I really don't understand what you're doing. Because we've been together with 15 going on 16 years to be in December. Mm-hmm. She put her whole life on YouTube, videos, audio, all kind of different situations, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. My thing is, the life that she trying to have or maybe want, mm-hmm. and then the advice she giving, you can't. We've been together 15 years. Somebody like her who haven't been with somebody or they're single, you can't give me relationship advice on my marriage because obviously I got more time than you. So why would I listen to you?
That's true. I feel like you have a lot of misguided people out here. I'm not just gonna peg women and men because I have seen a lot of just people in general. It's not a man thing or a woman thing, a black thing or a white thing. And last night I said a lot of people feel obligated to give opinions about certain things like they doing something better, and it's not necessarily that they doing something better, it's just that people don't know their shit.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But see, you don't have people that's honest enough to be like, I'm fucked up, I can't give you advice on this. But they'll take that initiative and be like, just because you don't know what the fuck I've done, I'm going to tell you how to live your life.
A false prophet.
A false prophet. And if that's the case, I'll go back to church.
Well, the preacher 9 times out of 10 ain't right himself. He committing crimes of infidelity amongst his family and, scamming and all kind of other stuff, man. There's so many preachers out here that say, oh, I scammed the church, but I'm only human. Jesus say, forgive me.
I think what bothers me the most about church is, that only human thing only exists within their reigns. You know what I'm saying? I can't, it never just sit well with me, and I'm not clowning any religion. I'm just saying,
right.
like, I don't like to feed into the fear standpoint. So therefore, Pastor, if you telling me I need to get my life right by God, and here you are, I don't know what you done. You not gonna tell me. It just, if it get out of hand, then we find out as a congregation. But then we extend that forgiveness to you.
But not to me.
But not to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's when it comes to like church and court is the same. Because here we go, your crime is worse than my crime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And also in church, honestly, I was watching this story about the man that sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads to learn how to play the guitar.
That didn't even really happen. You know that man's still alive, right?
No, he not.
I mean, when was that? Wait, it was more than one person that they said done that.
I can't remember his name.
You talking about the first guy?
Yes.
Okay, it's another guy that they said done that. He's still alive.
Right. Okay, so the point I was getting at is, one of his songs, he said, you know, the women were actually the leaders of the church. And what the pastors did was saw that back in the day, and he would preach to the women, because it was mainly women. Men went to work Monday through Friday. They wanted to relax and enjoy their weekend, let loose, drink liquor. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the cut up house or whatever. So he would preach to the women and tell the women, your husbands is out there listening to that devil music, which was what we listen to today. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they would go home and prosecute their husbands for the preacher that would bring in, number one, more financial gain for the church. Number two, it would bring more of a congregation to them. So it would be a war within the household. Y'all, you ain't coming to church. You ain't taking me to hell with you. You get what I'm saying? So either you leave or you come to church. Most men would be like, let me just shut her up and take my ass to church. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And it's true, because a woman could have 5 sons and the sons could be fucked up. But she will hide that from the pastor until it gets out of hand.
I can agree.
And out of hand is on the news, or the police get called, or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? But then here you go, you have another woman that has 5 daughters, and she is lining her daughters up to be a pastor's wife. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, now let's get back on the Soncerae thing. Okay. So in her life, you know, if you guys want to, or anybody listening, you can go check out her YouTube. You know, it really will. I mean, it gave me a headache to see this woman go back and forth, you know, contradicting herself on everything she was saying. But I mean, you know, maybe they make good for viewers. So she have told her story of her life. So, you know, she had a child. She was living out of a car. She said she had to take her bath in Walmart with her baby daddy. And, you know, she had been very sexually active while homeless. And, you know, they was doing all kind of orgies and stuff. And, you know, it's wild. And then, you know, years down the road, when I come into her, you know, her and dude done split up. He filed for custody for the child. Of course, the courts, which is a whole nother topic, you know, allow her to keep the child. And he's happily married and enjoying life. And she's sour about that. You know, and then on one hand, she say her man, like she got a man. But then, like 30 seconds later, she was like, yeah, I'm a black single mother. And I'm like, wait, you just said you had a man. But then she'll turn around and give relationship advice. And her status, you know, is a black single mother. So I'm like, wait a minute now. You can't help me because you haven't battled your situations. But, it's a lot of people that look out to content like this to try to relate or understand or better themselves. And I feel like she one of the type of people that'll take advantage of it because she trying to do it for the money. That's why she went on to say that she would no longer be posting content on YouTube except audio, and she going on to fans only or OnlyFans, whichever name they switch, because it's rumor they switched the name. And if you want to see her, you gotta do this, and she gonna put it not naked, but suggestive nudity pictures on there. And I'm like, okay, after all the titles you claim you are, a model, a singer, an actor, what else? Her repertoire is long. And I'm like, but at this point in life, because she's an elderly woman, I feel like anybody over 40, 45 is coming into the elderly stage. Like, I'm not saying you super old, but I'm saying that you're old. It's younger girls out here that's pursuing those careers or situations. And for you to be breaching 50 years old, like, when is this gonna stop? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the guy Tommy, that I didn't say his name earlier, but Tommy Sotomayor did say something that rung so very true to me a long time ago. When women have kids, the age women have kids at is the age that they stop at. Most women, not all. Most women, that's the age that they stop at, because I don't know, it's like time stopped with them in a mental or something, instead of continuing to age and gain wisdom. And when I listen to her, because if you was an adamant follower of her, you do know the steps of her life. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At the end, it's like I feel like when somebody get like this flash warning of "don't judge me," and it's like a pity party. I cannot stand pity. I done had some fucked up shit happen to me. I damn sure ain't finna go around looking for these handouts of pityness.
Well, she obviously has taken the victim role and made herself a merit badge for it.
Because I feel like black women feel like it is okay to constantly live in the same shit. Constantly. It's okay to be mad about shit that happened, but how long are you going to stay angry? I can't tell you how long to be mad, but what are you doing while you're mad? You get what I'm saying? Because you can take that anger and apply it somewhere else.
But she don't. It doesn't make sense to me, because she was angry for one YouTube person giving their observation on another YouTube person. Mm-hmm. And didn't involve her because she feel like she done the same thing that person done. But they never said it was her. They never brought her in it. Then she put herself in it. Then brought in like megastars like Cardi B and Beyonce and Jay-Z. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You don't equate to these people.
You know what I thought about? Because you brought that up last night, and it was a good something to bring up. What I thought about was people won't, like, if you, okay, say you, and I done found myself doing this too. You talk to somebody and then you say something that you would assume is fucked up, or that would piss them off. You get, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I know they finna be mad at me. Do you know they finna be mad at you, or do you want them to be mad at you?
She definitely wanted to smoke, as the young folks say. As the younger folks say. Mm-hmm. She wanted all the smoke. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand, why would you want negative attention, then turn around and open your video with saying namaste?
Look, I get that. I don't get, well, I guess it's just not for me to understand. But I don't get that. I think when people do like YouTubers and stuff, like they get the most traction when it's drama, because she's saying from the get-go, I don't like drama, I don't deal with people that have drama. But then you go back on her videos,
she creating drama.
She create drama, and it's like with people that she don't know. I'm not fucked up with you doing whatever that works for you. I don't care.
Right.
But I don't like when people out in the open and then get mad, because the first thing people learn how to do is judge.
Right.
But they do not judge themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sitting up here, she's sitting up here pointing the finger at what everybody else doing, and then involving herself in a collective of people that's not even in her life frame, that don't even know she exists. You creating this gravitational pull of drama to you because this is something that you want. It's not something that you don't want. You want the drama more than you don't want the drama. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, what you doing? You manifesting troubles.
But that's true. But the thing is, she been manifesting troubles. What she say? She been on YouTube doing this for no. She said for a decade. So if you've been on YouTube for a decade and you still in the same place you was then, I mean, wouldn't you feel like it wasn't working for you? I mean, I don't see myself doing a podcast for a decade for, let's just say, 7 viewers or 10 viewers.
Yeah.
I just don't see myself doing it.
Well, see, we also come from it's like this weird ass circle of, I don't want to do shit, but I want to get rich of not doing shit. And then she'll look at other people that ain't necessarily doing shit, not knowing what these people have done in their own background. Social media is only what people show you, not, I mean, they could say, well, I worked hard, you know what I'm saying? But they not going to give you all the details of what they actually done or the stuff that they done, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just like, she judging, well, they ain't doing shit and they millionaires. Or like she said, this one girl told me I made $3,000 off of fans only. And you know what I'm saying? Where's my $3,000?
Exactly.
And it's just like, that's not how it works, baby girl. You didn't do what this person did, and then you will peg it to be they did the worst thing to get that $3,000 in your book. But what if they didn't? You not them, so you not gonna get what is meant for them, because that $3,000 was meant for that girl, not you.
Right. But the thing is, what's crazy about what you're saying is the whole situation of her posting the video yesterday was not even pertaining to her. It didn't have nothing to do with her. Like, it was about other YouTubers talking about other YouTubers.
Which is what she's been doing.
What she been doing is trying to group herself in with the people that's getting talked about, which nobody said her name. Like, that was the crazy part about all of it. And then she went on to say that those people were talking about her. And I'm like, wait a minute. You said they didn't say your name. They didn't say your name. But then you turn around and say, well, when they talk about us, wait a minute. It wasn't us.
Right.
So I feel like this. I think she is delusional. It's crap. Because how could you... That's just like me seeing two people argue. And then they look at me and then start back arguing and say, oh, they talking about me.
Yeah.
That don't even make sense. You wasn't even there for the beginning of the argument. You had nothing to do with the argument. So why would I push myself into it?
Because people love to be involved in bullshit. People do not know how to look at what something is. And like, that didn't have nothing to do with her. And did nobody even ask her for advice on it? People think their opinion is worth more than the 2 pennies than what it fucking is. Your opinion do not matter. When I have a lot of people call me and talk to me about certain things, and it's just like, okay, you just want to vent, or do you want my opinion? You see what I'm saying? People don't understand that sometimes people just vent. But you feel obligated. You're not even that much of a spectacle in somebody's life to feel like, oh, I'm going to make a whole 2 hour. How long was that thing?
Man, I don't know. I didn't listen to it all.
I went to sleep.
I didn't listen to it all. I'm telling you, I turned it off and started watching, what was the TV show? It's Sherlock Holmes, but it's the newer model. It's Sherlock, but it's the newer one.
Was it good?
Well, I only watched one episode.
I like Sherlock Holmes.
It's the new episode. So I watched the first episode. I didn't get into the second.
Oh.
I fell asleep after that.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is, I don't feel bad for this lady, and I'm not gonna attack her. You know, I'm not gonna just like that's the thing. Like when I listen to people content, I don't hop on their page and attack them. You know, if I disagree, now it is one person I did get on his page because I disagreed with what he did to another person. You know, so I told him, you know, I feel like that you living in your lower self and you attacking this man, and it's not right. Because when it comes to spirituality, I can't, like she's saying she's spiritual. I can't tell you that she not spiritual. I can only say I feel like she using that as a ploy, because a lot of people are having a spiritual and awakening right now. So she see that and she like, oh, namaste. But I'm like, okay, you know they're supposed to promote positivity, right? But the first thing you did was start being negative. So nothing changed within you, which I'm not judging per se of who she is. It's the advice that she giving.
Or is it that this is something you wouldn't do?
What she did, I wouldn't do a lot of stuff that she does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, and it's not even that. Because what if it is somebody that's out there that's got a similar situation to her? At this point in life, why would you listen to her advice when she's still almost in the same place she was when she began?
Yeah, and the thing is, we are not capable of understanding when somebody is blind. Like, we cling to the blind leading the blind. You get what I'm saying?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
No, I'm not saying you necessarily. I'm saying as a community, because before you got to where you are today,
I drank the Kool-Aid.
You was a whole nother person.
Yes, I drank the Kool-Aid of somebody else's other mixture. Yeah. But I can admit that, but and willingly say that. Yeah. And some people won't even admit that they was misled.
Right, but see, you had to get there. You get what I'm saying? Because before, every now and then, depending on what she talked about, she had 100 people following the watching the live or whatever. Yeah. And then, like last night, it was really less.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, sometimes people just wake up. Some people just have to find their way. But if you don't find your way, you eventually lose that person. It's up to you to be like, oh, this is just not my cup of tea.
I mean, but she went to as far as to say that she committed suicide. And I think that's so messed up.
Yes, because you do have real people out here,
right?
That really,
that's on the verge. That's on that line, on the edge of doing this. And I think that's so messed up to even put that out here in social media that you committed suicide, and then turn around and say, well, that wasn't me. That was the people around me that said I was, but I just wasn't doing social media, and that's why everybody thought that. No, they had a GoFundMe on your personal page. So obviously, when people who are her fans or follow her went and looked, they believed it, because why would it be a GoFundMe on your page for your death? And you say, oh, well, you know, I ain't have nothing to do with that.
Because people, it's messed up, because people, like a person like her, just watching the stuff that she talk about and the stuff that she do, it's always acceptable to accept or project the worst shit to make people mentally like that. What she did was say that she died was a form of abuse on her people, because what she did was took herself away from people, letting them think that this
tragedy happened.
Yes, and it did. And then here she pop up and then
hey,
I'm not dead.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a form of abuse, and because she feel like the only way she can make a boom in somebody's life
is if she was dead.
Is if it's tragic.
Oh, if it's
all
tragic.
of her stories are tragic to get this boom in somebody else's life. Nothing she can touch, nothing she can taste, nothing she can feel. But she knows she doing it mentally. Some people love fucking with folks mentally, meaning they will pull shit out of thin air and be like, oh, but it didn't happen. But I just didn't feel the need to respond. It would not sit with me well if people thought I was dead and I'm just in here on Facebook.
Exactly.
Bitch, I ain't dead. Even if I'm in my casket, my casket, I'm gonna rise up. Wait a minute, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dead. That you couldn't say that, and this was on your personal stuff. And then another thing she said that bothered me, she was like, nobody knew where I was. Nobody knew where I was. Bitch, where were you? Because I want to know now. You know what I'm saying? You mind fucked people for your entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And people like that you gotta avoid.
Right.
Because
they'll bring you down.
Yeah, that's just like people when you first started talking to somebody. Before me and you got together, you know what I'm saying? When we first started talking to each other, it was like, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. You know what I'm saying? This is what I tolerate, this is what I won't tolerate. You have people like that when people first start following, quote unquote, somebody. You want to get to know that person.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, when you tell people your weaknesses, that's a strong suit for them. Because they know how to fuck with you. They know how to hurt you. That's what she do. Because people, any human that has a heart, a real whole heart,
feel sorry for her.
Will feel sorry for you if anything bad happens to you.
Especially when she's saying she living out her car and she living in a hotel.
Exactly.
So obviously, people who really care, because it is good, kind-hearted people out here that will send her money, you know, to help her with her bills, and she try to make it seem like, oh, it's all because of my social media. I never once heard her say somebody sent me money to help me in my situation.
Yeah, and the thing.
And I feel wait, hold on. I feel like this. That's really what it was. You know, when she get on there and see a lot of people, you know, don't know who she is. So if y'all go and see who she is, you'll understand more of what I'm saying. She would get on there and say, well, you know, I'm back living in my car, or I lost my car and I'm still living in a hotel. So people would feel sorry for her and send her money. But instead of her saying that, they was doing it because of the situation she was in, and they felt like, well, you less fortunate and I'm more fortunate, let me help you. She make it seem like, oh, I made this money off of social media being the person that I am. When I'm like, no, baby girl. That's not what people are doing. And what you're doing is the people that did help you, now they will never help you again because they see how you are after they gave you the help.
Yeah, because people will sit up here, like, I hate talking to people and they be like, hey, how's it going? You know, well, you know, such and such and such and such, and oh, and this and that, and ooh, this and that. But it's like, what are you doing to change it? Because this is what it was last year.
Right.
I have a sister that will not talk to me because of a situation. Like, she called me, when we first started developing a relationship, because my daddy got a lot of kids, and it's a lot of us, we don't know each other like that. So, of course, I reached out to one of my sisters, and we developed in a relationship, and I guess she just not even went sour. It just, she found a new person and she thought I was better off than her. And just on the fact that it was a new relationship developing, she felt like, oh, here's a treasure chest here. So the first thing she did of us like going over her house like once, like a couple weeks later, she inboxed me and was like, can you get a car in my name? And I'm like, well, do you have a license? And she was like, no. And the first thing I texted her back was like, I don't even know you like that. You don't even have a real address. Why would I do that? That's more
in my name.
So you willing to fuck up my name,
but not your own.
But she fucked up her name already. So that's not something that she can even do in her life. Her and him put together. And then turn around, it went a step further. Can you get a house in my name? And I'm like, but wasn't you just living in the projects? You know what I'm saying? Okay, a fucked up judgment. Let me reword that. What happened to your place? Well, I didn't pay my rent. How much was your rent a month? $20-something. How you fuck up that?
And think you're going to get a house.
Yeah, and then, of course, I wasn't on her Facebook page like that. Remember, I was like, I'm finna get on her Facebook. I'm finna be her friend on Facebook. I be her friend on Facebook. She got one of her little kids with money on the face listening, you know, like a money telephone.
Money phone, yeah.
And then she got blunts and shit rolled up. And I'm like, how the fuck is you poor, you know, in the poorhouse asking me for these things, but you know what I'm saying?
In social media, you got money.
I'm not saying you got to be like, oh, I'm fucked up on social media, but damn, bitch, convince me that you need help, because you only need help to my extent. And that hurt my feelings, because it's like I was I was only available for you to take advantage of me, because after I'm very, like, I say what the fuck I got to say. And yes, it come off mean sometimes, but it's like, damn, do I let you take advantage of me because I want to have a sibling relationship with you? Or do I let you take advantage of me because I'm a pushover? And that's tiring. And it was fucked up, because I'm like, okay, well, I guess we wasn't raised the same way, because, of course, I have another sister. We don't talk every day, but we shoot each other messages like, I love you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just that on that. And she'll randomly send me shit in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Seen this, boom, here you go. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, how come this is this? How come? But you have those women that is okay with fucking you up after they done totally fucked themselves up and blame everybody else.
So it's like the Titanic mentality.
Yeah.
I'm going to sink the ship.
Don't you know she will not talk to me?
And I'm going to go down with it.
I'm going to go down with it. And if I can, I will take you along with me. And what have I done to deserve this?
I don't know. But, I mean, you know, my whole thing is, because I'm going to change the topic. Because, you know, I feel like I wasted enough time on this lady, you know, which I'm not angry at her and I'm not frustrated. It's like, I don't understand what makes you think that you can give advice when that same advice you giving, you're not applying to your own life. Mm-hmm. That's my biggest question. So if she do hear this podcast, I want her to understand it's not an attack. It's not disrespect. It's me telling you the understanding that I receive from your content. Mm-hmm. And I really don't get why people say, well, I don't want to be messy, but be messy.
That's like the saying of, with all due respect, no disrespect is coming.
Right. Because if you don't want to be messy, you won't be messy. Mm-hmm. You know, that it's just that simple. Mm-hmm. If you want to change your life, you'll change your life.
Yeah.
You know, some people may need help or assistance or motivation. I'm not saying that's not true. What I'm saying is, You can't tell me you've been doing this for a decade and you're in the same spot.
Yeah.
And think that you can give me advice. You can't give me advice in relationships because you keep identifying as a single black mother. Mm-hmm. I'm a married black man. So you keep saying that your relationship advice don't register with me. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's no disrespect. It truly is not. Mm-hmm. It's just an understanding that sometimes she got to understand this. And from me listening to the few videos that I have listened to from her, she's the type of person that she don't want an understanding. She's gonna formulate her opinion and then play victim. And that's all I seen in majority of her content.
Well, I feel like that's what a lot of people do. They will cause so much chaos in their world, not realizing that chaos just don't revolve around you. It hits everything within your arm's reach. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then once you've come down from the chaotic volcano that you erupted, everybody else is still fucked up in the mind from it.
Yeah.
And then when those people are like, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. And then they like, well, wait. You get what I'm saying? Now you scrambling for people to still have that what you sympathize to get love.
Well, I took it seriously when you playing with suicide. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, some people do go through tragedies or bad situations to where they be on the verge or actually took their life. Mm-hmm. And, you know, to people out there that may have come across this content, there is a suicide hotline. So please, if you feel suicidal, look that hotline up and maybe they can help you. You know, maybe it's someone there that can guide you in a different light and turn you away from suicide. But I just, for you to take that and make a mockery out of it, you know, I did not appreciate that. And I did get offended with the suicidal thing because, like I said, for 5 months, you wasn't on social media from what she said. And, you know, her family was on social media saying that she had committed suicide. Mm-hmm. And then on her main page, she had a GoFundMe that said she committed suicide and they built this GoFundMe for her. Mm-hmm. Which got up to almost, you know, it was like $6,000, I think, before they initially removed it or cashed it out, because I don't know what happened to the money because I didn't donate, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
But it may be people who donated that did care. And if you do, then, I mean, obviously they're going to feel like they got played. Mm-hmm. Or they got scammed. Mm-hmm. Because they donated money because they feel sorry for her 2 children. I think she has 2, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. That she left behind, so they donated to her GoFundMe. Come to find out, 5 months later, she pop out and say, "Here I am." Mm-hmm. She literally said that.
How do you do?
Right. And now, you know, these people definitely feel like they was taken advantage of.
Yeah. It's frustrating because, you know, I had my moments. Hell, I had a breakdown not too long ago. And I think, you know, people don't realize the steps that they cause within other people. That was very unfair to people that really do have these breakdowns, because some people don't feel like they have no other choice but to just lay down and die. That rock she hiding up under a rock, that ain't enough. It ain't enough room. I just need to evaporate into the fucking universe. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they just need whatever it is to stop. And she took advantage of that whole mind play. It is really people out here suffering, especially now, because this inside, outside, sickness everywhere. People are so sensitive to what's going on, and you just played on it. Mm-hmm. You literally played on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the little boy that cried wolf. Mm-hmm. I I can't sympathize with somebody that constantly play on tragedy. That's just like, you know how I feel about that Me Too movement. It's real women out here that has been raped and nobody believed them. It's real men out here that done been raped or molested and nobody fucking believed them. And then here you go, every time you talk about something that happened in your life in the past, it's like, well, I was taken advantage of. Bitch, that is a huge ass word. How was you? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, and then here it comes. Well, it wasn't that bad.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Her story let you know that she was a willing participant. That's my problem with it. My problem is she said that she was with this guy and he took her to basically an orgy. And she participated in it. Okay, if you was uncomfortable and did not want to do this, why wouldn't you leave? But then she turned around and said, well, I did it for him. But since he gone, he took advantage of me in that manner. But that's not fair. Because when you was with him, it was okay. But now he's not with you. Now he seems to be taking advantage of you when it happened then. Yeah. And that come on now.
Yeah.
That ain't even cool. That ain't even right.
That's what I hate about when people break up. That's the ugliest phase. Instead of people just, boom, it's over. It is what it is.
But they been, I mean, according to her, they haven't been together for years.
Yeah, because that's something that she's still hanging on. It's so many women out here that's bitter, that'll stay bitter, hanging on to, because you okay with the shit as long as y'all together.
But she definitely bitter because she was clowning him for missing 1 week of child support. I know people out here that ain't paid child support in years. He missed 1 week and you clowning him, talking bad about him because he missed 1 week. Maybe he was going to make it up the next week. Maybe he got a different job and he get paid bi-weekly instead of weekly. You see what I'm saying?
Well, maybe he did. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. I honestly
can see if she said he missed months or years. That man, she said he missed 1 week and she went crazy. That don't even make no sense.
I love to see those women that, I mean, you know some women that had kids and the father just flat out refused to pay child support.
Right.
Or job hunt just for that reason.
Exactly.
And they be like, fuck it, that nigga ain't gonna do shit, fuck it. You see what I'm saying? But you have these women like her and be like, $60. That funky ass $60. But you talking about it.
It wasn't funky until you didn't get it. You wasn't mad until you didn't get it.
I think that she fucked up her life by being loyal to somebody that she had no reason to be loyal to. Because what women tend to do is wholly give themselves to somebody, knowing that they don't like the shit that's going on while they in the relationship, but when the relationship ends, they supposed to get some kind of points like, I was loyal to you, I did this for you. That was a choice.
Exactly.
You chose to do that, even though while you was doing it, you knew you did not like this shit. You knew you did not want this shit. But now that the relationship is over, now you want a name list the shit that you did? He know you did that shit. You know you did that shit. Why you gotta remind him of the things that you done? You did it.
And let's not to mention that man has moved on and he is married now.
Married.
And that, what I feel like is the trigger for her. Because she like, all the things that I did for you,
I deserve to be married.
I should have been married to you. But she herself said that they wasn't getting along and they wasn't having a good relationship. So why wouldn't you be happy for him that he's actually trying to move
Make
on
somebody else happy.
in his life and do better by somebody else because you feel like he should have done better by you.
Why women don't, I ain't gonna say women because I have seen men too, they don't see fit in their day-to-day basis to let somebody else be happy with somebody else. They rather for a motherfucker to be miserable with them rather than be happy with somebody else. To the point of destruction. What she doing is destruction of this man.
Mm-hmm.
She see him, she follow him on his social media. She see him
said
happy.
that herself.
Me and my family do a Where is Waldo thing. Why?
To see where he at.
See where he at. Where is he today? Where is he today? Girl, why? If he not taking care of his kid, pull your britches up. Hold your fucking head up high. Do what the fuck you have to do. You can't feed that baby stories saying your daddy. That don't fill that baby's stomach up. That don't clothe that baby. It ain't even clothing you. And that's what you set out to do.
But, the thing is, this has become the norm in America. That if you pay child support, then that's all that's required from your baby mama. Even though we know it takes more than money to raise a child. You also need to be there for them. But in these states now, long as you paying child support, your baby mama don't care what you do. The moment that you slip, miss, or they didn't receive the child support, then is you a deadbeat baby daddy.
But then you also have men that be like, shit, I ain't paying the motherfucking thing.
True.
And
right, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay. I get that. Yeah. I think it's a split of bullshit. You have people that it's out to just get and not get, or do and not do on purpose, because you don't have to remind somebody of their responsibility. They know that little motherfucker there. So why do you have to constantly be like, if his option was to just pay the child support, why is that a big matter?
That wasn't his option, because she said that they also went to child support court and he tried to file for custody, and she laughed at him because the court would not grant him even partial custody. So she thought that was funny, and listen, this is my advice to her. If you really truly want to change your life, then you got to stop all this nonsense. If you really want a man to be in your life, you have to be a better person. Because if any guy that I know run into her, they're going to be like, oh no, she a train wreck. I don't want to be with her in a relationship. And she going to always get that until she change how she is and who she are. But in the meantime, she is teaching her daughter these same ways.
Yes, because she was taught the same way.
Of what she doing that ain't working or didn't work for her. Mm-hmm. And we're going to end on that note. And if you got something else to add?
Yes. I think as women, we have to, especially if you have daughters. We got 3 daughters. And teaching them at an early age about loving themselves determine who they be around, whether it's a friend or family members. Because if you know of a cousin fucking with you, if you love yourself enough, you not gonna want to be bothered with that cousin. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like you teach your kids self-love. Boys need to know self-love also, because that determines who he involves himself around. And I think her as a woman, it's unfair for you to unleash the shit that you unleash onto the world and then laugh about it. And then think it's okay. because it's not.
Okay, and we'll be back with the next one. Welcome back. We're going to start off this next topic with Nene taking the lead with intuition.
Yes. How much of your own intuition do you trust? So, like, you know how you know something and you like, oh, I knew this shit. You know what I'm saying? But
I felt that. Yeah.
But you always do the opposite, and then when shit fall out, it's like, I knew this shit was gonna happen. It's like, well, why the fuck you do this shit? So what I'm saying is, how much of your own intuition do you trust?
A lot. And I'm finna show you how. Okay, I did a shout out earlier to everybody who I thought was listening and platforms, which of course I left off some. So I said, that's unfair. I feel like I need to go back and get everybody rightfully, because I think it's a beautiful thing, you know, when people are listening to me in different countries. And I didn't even know you can track that. But with the app, you can. So my shout out is Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and of course, all of this is possible through Anchor. So Anchor allows us to push out on all these different platforms. So, you know, that's my shout out. And we are number one on our own platform, with all of these platforms is in USA, which of course, you know, we share with friends, family, and people we know. And then number 2 would be Ireland. I didn't know that, you know. I left off Ireland the last time, or earlier in the podcast, which I want to give a shout out to Ireland. You know, and of course Canada, and the last but not least, Singapore. So those are the different places that our content is being heard. You know, whether if it's 1 or 2 people or 5 or 10 people, it's happening. And I think it's a wonderful thing, because what we're trying to do is give people a better understanding of everything that we deal with or achieved or done in our life. It don't always have to be negative, you know, of us, a Thurman Viking. Because Thurman Viking is not just a podcast, it's also a clothing printing company. It's also a candle company and shea butter company. You know, we also are herbal health company. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's a wonderful thing for us to share this stuff with everybody. And Red wants some pizza, so I'm definitely gonna have to go hook her up. Actually, I think my wife is gonna go make her some pizza. But earlier in the podcast, I want to talk about how a lot of people are misled or misguided, you know, as into looking for leadership. Which for me, I'm not looking for leadership or to be a leader. But I have put myself in a position to be somebody's leader, which I am fine with leading them. But being a leader is definitely hard and difficult, because it's hard to lead people that don't want to be led per se. Okay, and we can get back, I guess, to the intuition, because I really don't want to, you know, it's like when you change subjects, and then you try to stay on what the topic is. That's what I want to do, is try to stay up on the topic.
Okay.
And You want to fix Red some pizza or shit?
No, she wanted a muffin.
Oh, okay, that'll do. Okay, now go back to your intuition, because I did my shout outs and I had started getting away from it, so I need to get back to top.
Okay. Well, I feel like people need to learn to trust in their intuition more. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, I feel like that's where they make their initial mistakes in life, because it's always a flip of a coin. You know what I'm saying? And we don't necessarily listen to our gut. You know what I'm saying? You always have people that have a gut feeling, or I knew this, or that
I felt it inside.
Yeah. And then when shit go wrong, it's like, man, I knew such and such, and I knew this, and I knew that. We have to learn to trust our intuition. I remember we used to talk about stuff. You're like, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? It's just like sometimes being on autopilot. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just that bird's eye view. A lot of times, depending on how mentally stable some people are, they intuition like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you had them people that can hit lottery numbers and it be, spot on every time. Or you have people that is very successful just going off of their intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people need to get to that, because I feel like it's something that you need to have in this day and age. You have people that's just not right. You know what I'm saying? According to my book. You know what I'm saying? But my book ain't used to read on everybody. If I just don't fool with somebody, I don't fool with somebody.
I mean, it's the laws of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You got good and bad. You got right and wrong. You got yin and yang. Mm-hmm. So it's the laws of the universe. It's not necessarily just your book. It's that you have an understanding of people that are right and people that are wrong. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it takes experience to understand a lot of people that are right and a lot of people that are wrong, because you have to weed through the manipulation.
Oh yeah.
So therefore you figure out that this person is wrong because you have understood the manipulation. But if you can't understand that, you don't know who right and who wrong. Exactly. Because it could be vice versa for you.
Exactly. And I think, like, let's say for instance, our kids, out of the, wiki, she will sucker me in, because of course she the baby.
You don't love me?
And once she hit that you don't love me, it's just like, I'll give you everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's a manipulation standpoint. But kids learn manipulation even at a really, really young age. They cry. They get what they want, which is fed, changed, picked up, And it goes on and it gets bigger and it gets more genius. You know what I'm saying? No, you can't have a cookie, wiki. What? You said you won't feed me? Remember that night I told you that shit crushed me. And it took me, I had to take a step back, and I'm like, she manipulating me.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's quite smart as hell, but, I mean, come on now. Just little kid. Like, I had the little kid her the other day. Like, little kid, you don't leave me alone.
But see, it fares on in different situations, because when it comes to me, I don't fall for it. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, well, it ain't that I don't love you, or that I'm not gonna feed you.
You don't need no cookies.
You're gonna get food. You're not gonna get sweets.
Yeah. But back to, the intuition standpoint, I think we need to learn to trust in that more, because the hairs on the back of your head don't stand up for no damn reason.
Mm.
And we have to learn that that's a signal for warning. That's a signal for running sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And we have to trust in that, because people not going to necessarily tell you, I'm going to fuck your life up. You know what I'm saying? No. They'll tell you, I can help you. I can help you become a millionaire in 12 days.
Man, there's so many infomercials like that. Yeah. You can be a millionaire in less than 6 weeks if you buy this book, if you come to my seminar. And I'm like, why would I do that when I'm just making you money? I'm not making me money. But then you get in the seminar and they're like, all you got to do is do seminars. And you're like, what? Yeah. You done charged me to tell me this. Yeah. And I think we definitely, as people, need to quit falling for the old hook, line, and sinker. We take the bait, trying to make better our situation, because we truly do. 90% of people are looking to better their situation financially. So you got to realize those 10% that are not looking to better their situation financially, they're looking to exploit people who trying to better their situation. That's not like if a company come to us to say, we heard y'all podcast, we love it, we'll pay y'all X amount of dollars, and y'all do this and y'all do that, and I'm gonna tell them it's simple as this: I enjoy doing my podcast, and if you try to censor me or change my style, I'm out. I don't want to do it. I'm telling them this off the bat. Like, it's not I'm gonna sign the dotted line and don't read the contract, because a lot of people don't, and say, okay, well, I don't want to do this, and they like, by contract, by law, you have to do this because we can take you to court and sue you for breach of contract. So you got to understand who you are and what are you willing to do to get to where you feel like you need to be in life. Yep. And my thing is this: it's not always about financials in life, because no amount of money can change the time that I spend with my family. Yes, it can help, but it don't change it, because I don't have to be rich to get in a car and go Pokemon hunting with my kids. You see what I'm saying? And that's what people don't understand. Those are things that my kids will grow up and look back on and be like, we used to have fun. We used to play Pokemon Go, and we used to go and do raids, and we help. And it'll be those things that weigh in on their life as an adult when they get grown, and they'll feel the sense of love and understanding, instead of nobody never did nothing for us. We wasn't never there. My parents always worked, and yeah, we had money, but that didn't mean nothing to me, because that's how a lot of people feel in this day of age. Yeah. My parents got money, but they never was there for me.
The emotional balance.
Exactly.
And support wasn't there. Yeah. That's true. I think, especially like, as most people are raised by single moms or single dads, and then versus, having a 2-parent household, even if children stay with one parent, there still should be some kind of togetherness. I feel like, because, my mom and my daddy wasn't together after I was a certain age. They was married, you know what I'm saying? But of course it just didn't work out between them. It was still, their beef was more, it was bigger than the raising of the kids. You know what I'm saying? And I remember a time where I want to say my mama my mama did need a break. You know what I'm saying? From 3 kids especially. And like my mom and my daddy would have these times where it was like, oh, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw so much beef. And then she would be like, well, my daddy would be like, well, I ain't got no food here for the kids, because as an adult, you just take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you really ain't got to eat necessarily.
You go out to eat a lot.
Or you go out to eat. It's easier just feeding yourself. So my mom would be like, well, I'll just bring food over there. I just need a weekend. And then my dad will counter with, well, you can let Tiffany come over here, even though Tiffany was not my dad's daughter. You get what I'm saying? And it was vice versa with Tiffany's daddy too. We could go with him. You get what I'm saying? And it was always that, but it was seldom. It wasn't all.
It wasn't all the time. And it wasn't a regular thing.
Yeah, and it was what I feel like she needed, and I feel like a lot of time, even today, like we do not think that the other parent constantly need a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, mothers are built.
Actually, no, I do all the time.
Yeah.
And for a fact, I just be like, why don't you just go do something? And I got the kids, or I'm finna go ride, and then I'm taking the kids. That's just like you went to the store. And I think it's like this. Parents need to be on the same accord. And I think that's very important. That's something we learned together. Because we was always one thing here, one thing there, and now we lined up to where you go to the store, you like, listen, I know what I want to eat. I'm gonna pick up the veggie burgers. I want some fries, and I'm like, okay, well, I start cooking the fries. So you get here, we get the groceries, and then I start the burgers, and you can sit down, we can all eat together.
Yeah.
And that's where it got to be an understanding that it can be done. You just got to damn do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest myth that ever existed in parenthood, is that one parent has to do this one thing. Like, you have to cook and clean, and I have to work.
Yeah.
But we both know that it been times that I have cooked and cleaned and watched the kids, and you work, and then I work and you cook and clean, and then sometimes it don't matter who working, we still cook and clean. You see what I'm saying? But that's why I think, is misguided, because that's from the old teachings of back in the days. It used to be this. Okay, that's true. It used to be that. But now, is we have evolved. So when time change and people evolve, so does the situation. You can't say you're an evolved person and you hollering back talking about back in the day when a woman was a woman, she was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's not evolution.
Yeah, I think we need to come to a conclusion as a people, because it's not a race thing, that shit that we learned a long time ago was wrong. It was wrong. And not saying the people that taught us is bad people. It's just that this could be better. This could be different. This could actually be great.
And you know what I really hate in my life? That I love cooking and went to school and have a culinary arts degree, to be a certified chef. And when you talk to other people, they laugh. And I'm like, why would you laugh? I love to cook. That's something I love. I learned the love of cooking truly through my granny Thurman. So as much as I love her, I love the fact that she would show me things in the kitchen that per se my mama wouldn't, or my other grandmother wouldn't. They'll say, stay out the kitchen, go sit down and watch TV or something. And opposed to my granny Thurman, she'll be like, baby, why don't you come in here and get that measuring cup down and measure me 2 cups of flour. I'm about to cook a cake.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I learned that at an early age and was very interested in it. And it became something that I grew to love. And when you express this to people, when they be like, you know how to cook? I'm like, yeah, I went to culinary art school. They laugh. They think it's a joke. It's funny. But you don't laugh at Gordon Ramsay.
Because he already established. He's already done.
He's a man, and he's a famous cook. He's a certified master chef. But you don't laugh at him.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When he has cooking TV shows and stuff, and people sitting there watching it, when you talk about what's the name of the show we used to watch all the time? Hell's Kitchen. When you sit there and have a conversation about Hell's Kitchen and who can and who can't cook, you don't laugh at the fact that Gordon Ramsay run this and he's a man and he can cook. But you laugh at the fact that I'm not famous, but I love to cook. It doesn't make sense to me, and for a long time, I wouldn't say I was ashamed of it. I just wouldn't even acknowledge the fact when people be like, oh, you can cook? I'm like, yeah, I can cook, so what? It was something that people shamed me for.
But, and the thing is, and that's true too, it's what it was, but the thing, people are so, and we just got through talking about this earlier today, that they'll project their fears on them not being successful onto what you already done took a step into doing. And then make you feel shameful for doing it. No. But, no. Go on, wiki.
No food.
No food. Just got to eat. Anyway. People always project their bullshit on you, and it's just their insecurities, and that's not fair. Because when we got together, you could cook, I couldn't, and you taught me to cook. You see what I'm saying? Which I used to say the shit all the time. My husband is certified chef. You know what I'm saying? Which was true, and people couldn't believe it. You lying.
When I bust out them degrees, they be like, "Where the fuck you get this shit from?" Yes, I have achieved this.
Yeah, and it's just like, it was something to be proud of. But it's messed up because instead of people getting inspired, they project their failures or what they assume is a failure or a closed door onto you and make you feel like this is not a good thing that you did, or you don't get the, you know what I'm saying, recognition you think you should get. But that's when we come to a whole nother root of the issue. Fuck them. You get what I'm saying?
Right. But, like I know, we have plans in the future for me to utilize this. So, I'm not going to give out my plans because...
that was then. This is
Yeah. But I still have plans in the future to where I'm going to be in a position to where I can enjoy myself and financially provide for my family and cook, and it'll be on my own terms. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. When once you get your certification, then you need the experience. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the cooking experience because that's what you went to the school for, but of restaurant experience. Yeah. They want you to, I was 6 months here, I was a year or two here, which that really doesn't make you who you are. Mm-hmm. So I never really pursued that because I'm like, okay, our city is not big like New York or, Chicago and LA. I'm in Chattanooga, where it's small when I finished my degree. So we didn't have 5-star restaurants. I think 2 years ago is they put the first 5-star restaurant in Chattanooga.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I think Ruth Chris is a 5-star restaurant. Oh. So up until then, I couldn't even work in a 5-star restaurant unless I moved out of town to Atlanta or, somewhere there is a 5-star restaurant. Mm-hmm. So, the opportunities kind of got smaller for me when I came back home. Mm-hmm. Which I definitely wanted to travel and do it, but obviously I needed finances. So I started working. So within that statement, it kind of spiraled into something else. Mm-hmm. So I never did try to work at a 5-star restaurant, which I don't feel like I would try. My whole thing is forget a 5-star restaurant. I can own my own restaurant. Yeah. Why be? Because in these restaurants, they start you off at the bottom. Mm-hmm. You could be a waiter, you could be a dishwasher, or assistant, and then you have to work your way up top. Why do that when I can eliminate that and start my own restaurant? Yeah. And I can cook and hire a cook for when I don't want to be there.
Yeah. Me, shit, do it. Whatever your heart desire, I'm down for it. I always been along for the ride, no matter what it was. But I think more people should fall into that way and don't listen to people. And I think also people need to really learn how to surround themselves around people that really support them. Because you can talk to somebody on the phone all day, and due to the fact that the love you have for them, they'll listen to your shit. But as soon as you get off the phone with them, they have so many bad things to say about you. And people do not realize that throws a monkey wrench in your shit.
It really does.
Even though you don't know how this works, it happens. So when shit don't happen after you get out, or when shit go bad after you talk to somebody, you gotta know where that shit came from. Because it's not by chance that you was just on cloud 9, get off the phone with this person, and you won't at one cloud. They done threw a monkey wrench in your shit.
Yes, but I haven't been allowing people to do that. You know, that's just like the DTG printer situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the beginning we started out well. Matter of fact, we made enough money for the printer to pay for the DTG printer to pay for itself
in 24 hours.
In less than 24 hours, and also turned around and paid for all the materials that we use for it.
Yes.
You know, so it bought itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just like the herbal situation. Mm-hmm. It paid for itself 10 times over already. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, we probably up to 20 times now over.
Yeah.
So I think people don't look at it how we look at it. Mm-hmm. We looking at it from a financial perspective, as if this gonna bring enough finance to where we not in the negative with this situation.
Yeah.
They look at it as, you ain't making millions of dollars or thousands of dollars every time you make money. Mm-hmm. So therefore, it's not making money.
Well, you remember last week we had an argument. You was like, Nene, you can't be so careless. And this is something you have always said about me, and it's true.
You got the heavy hand.
Huh?
You got the heavy hand.
No,
that's what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about, I think I had made so many orders, and you was like, you can't be. I made orders, and you was like, you running out of stuff. And I'm like, okay, that shit'll come back. You know what I'm saying? And then we did not know this. Literally, not even 2 days. I had like $120, $25 in orders like a day or something later. And you was like, well, I'm looking at you like, told you. You know what I'm saying? And I understand where you come from with that shit, but like it's like the Peter Pan shit. You know how careless Peter Pan is, and he's like, oh, everything is
right. But listen, it wasn't. I think you misinterpreted it, because It wasn't that I didn't say it wouldn't come back. I was saying, you need to be prepared for when it come back. You see what I'm saying?
No, that is not what you know.
It was about preparation. It was not a razzle-dazzle. It was about preparation.
No, you finna try to razzle-dazzle. And I understand where you come from, because you are the type of person where your mind is military. It truly is. That's just who you are. I remember when I first came to your house, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with your room? You was like, what? The bed made up, it's clean. I'm like, but you've been gone all day. You know what I'm saying? We've been at the same workplace all day. Who made this bed? Why are your clothes folded so neatly, and your shoes lined up, and your hats is hung, and all? Like, that shit was weird to me, because when you came to my house,
oh my God,
where did all these shopping bags come from? And are you planning on wearing these clothes?
No, your room was like a store exploded with clothes in your room.
Yes.
It was clothes everywhere.
And I don't know. I don't find, at first I used to feel bad from how we used to get into it about it, me being so messy. That's just me. But I know where every fucking thing at.
That's true.
I can find my shit, your shit, they shit in a pile of shit. And it's not a nastiness. It's just that
junkie. You know what I forgot to mention? Apple Podcasts. We are on Apple Podcasts too. I forgot to mention that. You know, but shout out to Apple. Because I'm actually doing it from my Apple product phone. So, and it's crazy that I forgot that when I got an iPhone. Looking dead at it. Okay. We was talking about junkiness, before the break, because we have commercial breaks. So.
Right. Children breaks.
And children breaks, sometimes we have to stop podcasts to go tend to the kids, depending on what they need or what they trying to do or what they want. It ain't all about feeding them. They might want to go outside, or they might need some assistance with their mobile devices, or anything, TV, whatever. But
well, like I was saying before we stopped, yes, I it's like a chaotic thing. And it's true, like my mind is always just chaotic. I'm always lost in the chaos of my mind. And nobody else understands it. And it's, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, you always just doing random shit. And it do be random, but eventually it come together. You know what I'm saying? So, I think, everybody just have their way of how they are. And like I said, your mind is more military. Everything has its proper place, and you're very structured and shit like that, and I'm not. And that's just the way it is. We do find common grounds to come together. Yeah, we gotta argue first, but it should have come together eventually, so it's just the different worlds of how they merge, and it does make sense for people to merge those minds when it comes to having any kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just proper for people to realize that that's what it is. Because it went from my mom and my daddy finding common ground sometimes, but it would have been way more wonderful if that common ground
was consistent.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't necessarily need them to be together. It was just the consistency of the sometimes of them coming together. If that would have been better, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that my mama was just that far, because it was a lot of times when my dad, it was just like, I used to just like randomly see that nigga. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
oh damn, what's up, Pops? How you see? There's a unicorn out in public.
Right. It was just like randomly seeing him sometimes, just thinking back on my childhood and shit. And then, telling my mama and seeing her frustration and not understanding her frustration, because she did have times she was like, I will work with you. You know what I'm saying? I will help you. I just need a no kids zone for a while.
I think the problem is that going in the beginning, from my experience, people go in and decided, okay, we're going to be parents now. But the relationship don't work out. Mm-hmm. But the child is here. Mm-hmm. You can't quit a child. Mm-mm. I mean, it is some people out there that have, gave their child away, or dropped them off, as they say, at a fire station type situation, or gave them state custody.
Yeah.
But for majority of the parents, you can't quit a child.
No.
So it becomes a problem, because now, y'all have a child in between y'all, but y'all can't get along enough to parent the child as two parents instead of a single black mother or a single black father or a single parent in general, because it's not just racism that have broken households. Mm-hmm. It's not a race thing. Mm-hmm. Broken households is a human thing.
Mm-hmm. Because people just don't work sometimes.
Right.
And that's okay. And I think that's the point where stuff get messed up, because people feel like that's not okay. It is okay.
But I previously said that, though. Like, why would you have children with somebody who you don't see a future with?
But I don't think that's the initial thought. Because sometimes when people get together, it's pure love. You know what I'm saying? When it's pure love. You know what I'm saying? It's that consensual thing,
unadulterated situation of pure love. I get it.
So I think, but I think it's always that imbalance of somebody thinking, well, like the situation we was talking about in the episode before, if they not with me, I'm wreaking havoc everywhere, even upon the kid. Mm-hmm. Because It's just, but to me, it's just not right. You know what I'm saying? Then you have some women that's just like, I'm cool with you, just, you know what I'm saying, doing you. You have men that's like, shit, do you. Don't involve my child in no bullshit. But people can't respect that.
Mm-mm.
You can't tell me what to do with my child. And it's like, hold up.
This our child, yeah. Like, but see, that's I think the most misconception of being a parent. Just because we not together don't mean I forfeit my right to make decisions in my child's life. That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that comes from a negative place within relationships. Yeah. But you can't be with somebody and not be with them, but then say, well, your child don't mean nothing to you because I said so.
You know what's disrespectful to me is when the relationship is over between the adults, the respect is over between the adults.
Yeah, that's true.
So with that being said, if we not together, it's fuck you. Right. And that's not a fair thing to do. You know what I'm saying? If you don't consider the dad, you don't consider the kid. Because that's the half. You get what I'm saying? Especially if it's someone that, you know, want to be in the kid's life. Of course, you would want boundaries set if you're not in the household. And heartbreak causes a domino effect within people, especially if they minds ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Because I have seen a lot of couples break up and become like straight little friends. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. That still respect those boundaries and be like, oh well, you know what I'm saying, you doing you. I got the kids this weekend, or you know what I'm saying, vice versa. Why can't people come to that common ground? It's just the heartbreak that's there.
But see, I think what upsets me is everybody holler this co-parenting shit. You can't be a half a fucking parent. You can't be that. Mm-hmm. Don't no child want to have a parent.
That's true.
So I think once you start putting labels on how you can parent, mm-hmm. it becomes a problem. Think about this. If you was young, when you was younger, if your mama and daddy said, oh, we're going to be co-parent, and the relationship that you have with them now, growing up with this quote unquote, because you can't see the quotes I'm putting up, so quote unquote co-parenting atmosphere, mm-hmm. you're gonna be like, they wasn't a full parent because they couldn't get along enough to be full parents.
Yeah, I always hated labels, and that's true. I feel like, you know, if you just if the relationship does not work, that is fine. But trying to make it seem like, okay, well, we just gonna co-parent. No, just parenting is just fine. You know what I'm saying? If, like I said, I have seen my mama and them get together after they divorced, and it's like, well, how did this shit happen?
What are you doing?
Is it Christmas? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like, okay, but
it's a leap year.
I understand that, you know, you kind of miss somebody after something, but then it's just like, is that appropriate? You know what I'm saying? Because it throw the kids through confusion, mm-hmm. and then it also throw you through confusion because you know, my daddy probably was just there because he, you know what I'm saying, my daddy is a ladies man, you know what I'm saying, and he
dude's Bigelow man Gigolo.
I'm telling you, and it's just like my mama kind of set herself up for failure, or what I thought, you know what I'm saying, because it just wasn't gonna work. And I get it, but I feel like my daddy could have been better. You know what I'm saying? Just from my perspective, I feel like my life would have been a little bit more better if he would have been more of a presence there. Even if they wasn't together. Because it was a lot of things he could have helped her with that she was struggling with. And I only saw it for anger. When she was sad, it was angry. When she was, you know what I'm saying, she couldn't be happy too long because shit was going to hit the fan soon. Mm-hmm. And if he was there to help her kind of juggle that shit, it would have been better. You know what I'm saying, on her and on us. But that co-parenting thing, I get why it would be a name, quote unquote. But I think just parenting is fine. Y'all can be better. Like, y'all can be parents without saying co-parenting. What the fuck is the co? I don't get it. Just parent. Just parent.
Exactly.
Oh, we're co-parenting. Is that living together in parenting? Or that's the same thing as staying married, sleeping in different bedrooms for the kids.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I think the narrative of co-parenting actually affects the child. Because, yes, separation is hard, but if it's going to be an issue, then why put up a title and say we not together, but we live together? Or we not together, but we trying to parent together, so respect my parents. And no, just be a fucking parent. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not a co-father. Yeah. I'm not a half of a father. I'm a full father. So it's not gonna be a slash or a hyphen in front of my parenting skills. Yeah. I'm gonna be a father as much as I can be a father, whether we together or we not. And I think that's the misconception that's been put on society with these titles. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, these last 5 years, it been more titles on different things than I ever seen in my whole entire life.
When it's just some regular shit.
When it's the same shit that used to be, 10 years ago, they just put another name and a title on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people always want some shit to be extraordinary. It is what it fucking is. I know you hate hearing that, but it is what it is. Just fucking parent. It's not, it doesn't need that. Because when you say, oh, my parents co-parent, what the fuck is that saying?
Exactly.
One buy you the drink, the other one buy you the lunch. The Lunchables, you know what I'm saying? That shit's stupid. It's just like, just fully do this, that what you need to do, that's necessary for the kid. That's it.
And leave the titles out of it.
And leave it out of it. It's just like you making this be.
You're confusing the child. That's what I'm saying. It's confusing the fucking child.
Hell, it's confusing me,
Well, it don't confuse me because I don't consider myself a co-parent or ever being one. I feel like if we were not to work out and we get a divorce and we separate, I'm still gonna be a father to my children.
Right.
That's it. It's not. I'm not gonna run around here and say, yeah, we divorced and we decided we're gonna co-parent. What the fuck does that mean? Because that's what everybody gonna ask.
Like, do you take a class on it?
Exactly.
Do you get certified for doing that shit? I think people need to understand that with relationships, the sourness come from your adult shit, not the kid shit. Because parenting is different from adulting. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, you gonna have people that break your heart. You gonna have people that don't treat you right. Do you let that sour you in life? Yeah, be sad. But, I mean, it's all right. You just move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, do some other shit with that shit. Learn from that shit. And then move the fuck on. That's it. And try to create happiness within what the fuck you went through. We get too hung up on the bad shit that happened to us. But it's like you outlived that. That's over. You know what I'm saying? With it being over, figure something else out. Figure out what make you happy. You have too many women out here that do go through a heartbreak. Too many men out here that do go through a heartbreak and they never recover. And it mirrors and mirrors and mirrors to the next person and the next person and the next person, or even the person that they create. It just mirrors that sadness and angriness and bitterness and shit. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people be afraid because, from my perspective, you can give your everything and your heart to a person, and they'll tear it out your chest and rip it out and stomp on it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people don't recover from that situation, like you said. So that makes them not only bitter but afraid to love. That's just like I know the difference between me and you. For me, I'm a hopeless romantic type of person. For you, you not. You don't even like it. You see what I'm saying? But you have to know this within your spouse. Because even though I don't like how you are, I still will hold or do or be involved in the same type of gestures that you like.
Yeah. But it took you a while to get there.
Because I had to learn that I can't force you to be what I am.
Yes.
So, yes, just because I'm a hopeless romantic person and I love love, that doesn't mean you don't love love. That means you love it in a different manner. But I had to come to an understanding of that because for a long time I was trying to figure out what is it that you don't love love.
What's wrong with this lady?
It's not that you don't love love. Your love means something. Your love means something or meant something different that I wasn't trying to understand because I was trying to get you to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the part in it to where people got to understand is know your spouse or get to know your spouse. A lot of people don't have conversations with their spouse about their past, or about, it ain't got to be a negative past or a negative conversation. It can be like, what's your favorite childhood toy?
But see, that opens up a door for other things. Like I said, I think when people first get together, insecurities need to be presented and talked about, and bad characteristics need to be talked about, because you don't necessarily know sometimes that you're doing a bad thing to somebody or you making somebody feel a certain way, especially if that person got tough skin. You know what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And especially if that part, when you love somebody, you're not gonna necessarily tell them, I hurt your feelings. Number one, I'm a tough cookie until I break, until I crumble. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, where the fuck this shit come from? You ain't show no emotions the last conversations we had.
You're like a tortured soldier. Right.
So once the crumbling starts, it ain't a little bit it crumbles. It's the whole fucking, you know what I'm saying, kabam. And then it's just like, well, where did shit come from? Because you passed what happened before. I'm not, because I held it in. You know what I'm saying? So we don't necessarily talk about the proper things when it's the proper time. When we first got together, it was just like, I wasn't necessarily on board with the relationship standpoint, becoming a parent and stuff like that. And you was like, well, why? Because you couldn't understand. And I'm like, man, I ain't too tuned up here in the mind and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that needs to be done from the get-go, because these women think when they get with a man, the next thing I need to do is have a baby by him. And then get married. Not get married, then have a kid. But that is still out of order, because you need to get to know the person, because everybody is not raised the same. And what you think is not normal was normal to another person raised in a different household by different people. So if that child went through some shit, they became an adult that went through that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, we have to learn in our community, because we talking from our point of views, that we have to be more verbal. We have to learn how to communicate the bad shit, not just the good shit. Because the bad shit is what happens after that love is lost. That's how come, people, I always say, love is a poison. It is. It is a poison, because it feels so good, it tastes so good, it smells so good, but that shit can kill you if you're not being loved properly by a different person. And the other way, vice versa. Because you don't realize you could be killing another person because how you was raised. You know what I'm saying? It drives you crazy that I'm not emotional like that until I'm just, boom, emotional. But you emotional. And I know that every step of the way. when I, you know what I'm saying, when conversations just had, and I'm like, oh shit, fuck that shit, and then eventually it's like, fuck that shit.
It's an overload.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that's because, you know, like I was telling my mama, women are raised in the essence of a man, because that strong black woman bullshit. That you can't show weakness. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be tough. You gotta have thick skin. And then men are raised in that woman's perspective, because in that feminine essence. You know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing but that hurt feminine. I don't want to say feminine toxic shit. I want to say hurt feminine, because boys always get what they daddy, the punishment from their daddy, because their daddy is not there. Mm-hmm. They receive that punishment. And women get the strong standpoint of, I got to do it anyway.
I don't need no man.
I don't need no man. So it's hard, you know what I'm saying, looking at my mama now and being angry at her, because now I get it. Even though, no, I'm not a single mom, but I get it. She wasn't mad. She was sad. She was depressed. She was bitter. You know what I'm saying? And then still trying to find love, and it was like finding the same nigga over and over again. You know, again and again and again and again. And it's just
but how could you find something different when you haven't changed to be a different person? If you still have the same outlook on life, the same mentality, the same way you talk, the same way you dress, everything is the same, probably all the way down into the same way that you may wear perfume. You know what I'm saying?
And
you're gonna attract the same kind of man.
And that's that standpoint of that healing, because people get right out of relationships searching for something else, another relationship. People need to take time to heal.
Right.
Even the person that you feel like hurt you need to heal.
Right. But see, I think the biggest problem in relationship with a lot of people is that they try to put a cap on somebody's healing.
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody's moved on and they're in a better place now. They're like, but I'm not, so how are you?
I know, you know, my sister just went through something traumatic. And when we talk, I don't bring up her stuff unless she decides that's what she want to talk about. And my first go-to is self-healing. Whether you got to do it with Christianity, Hinduism, whatever, heal first, because you still gonna be you within the hurt. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to, number one, live with that and focus on just you. You know what I'm saying? For a while, because it's just you and your baby boy. He is who you got to unleash onto the world.
Exactly.
So let's not unleash your hurt within him, so he can be the most brutal little monster. And you gonna love him because he your monster. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, you know, I feel like we got to learn how to heal from our childhood shit, because our parents do a number on us too. Mm-hmm. And it's not that they wrong for it. It's just that they don't know no better. Right. Because the first time...
They wasn't taught better.
Yeah, the first time I think you ever had a conversation with my daddy, you like how your daddy feel like you a boy. And then once you got to know me more, you was like, oh yeah, you is a little nigga. You know what I'm saying? And that's our relationship. But it's not, because it's just like, I'm a lady. You know what I'm saying? But I do not reflect as such, because I got to be tough.
But see, me have a conversation with my mama, you know, about how she raised me.
Yeah.
You know, like she said, she didn't know until now. Mm-hmm. And I understand that. So basically, I had to grow up with the ideologies that I had learned from other people, which was totally and completely wrong. Like, I'm fine with saying that I was misled and made mistakes, because I think that's the biggest perception when you doing something like a podcast. People want to try to appear to be perfect. Mm-hmm. When I'm not perfect by a long shot, I have made many mistakes and will make mistakes until the day I die, because that's life. That's how you gain and learn from your experiences. Nobody in this world has ever done every single thing in their life perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
They can say it. You can't stop people from saying it. But, I mean, any average person knows that's not true.
Yeah. I think we need to learn to be more observant of our own shit, number one. And I think people's biggest mistake is we don't realize the shit that we don't observe about ourselves, we blame on other people. The mistakes we do make, we blame. We don't take that responsibility. You know, women have kids and be like, I can't wait till your ass turn 18 and get the fuck out of my house. But is that fair? Because that child did not ask to be here. But
no matter how frustrated or angry I get at my children, I have never told neither one of my kids that.
But they haven't gave you the worst shit yet either. I'm just saying.
And I understand that, but that's not something that's in my vocabulary in parenting. Yeah. I'm not going to say that because I don't want my kids to get out my house. I'm trying to battle my kids as growing up from children to youth to young adults to adults. Yeah. That's something I wouldn't say, but the thing is, a lot of parents don't know why they say that, because guess what? Their parents told them the same thing, so they continue the cycle. Yeah. So we are a big family between our family on breaking cycles. Yeah. So that's a cycle I know I have already broken, and it won't continue with my bloodline. Yeah. You know, with my children. Now I can't say that for my relative kids. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that's a cycle that keep continuing that was said. Yeah. Or cousins or whoever else kids. So I'm not gonna try to fix their family because I'm trying to improve mine. It's not me being selfish. It's more of I gotta make a better way for my kids, and you as a parent should be trying to do that for your children. Yeah. But if you don't understand it, you don't see it. Yeah. And I think that's why, like I said earlier, these titles are playing a big role, especially in the black household. Like, you know, I have went to bat over a conversation about feminism, or AKA black feminism, which is no such thing. It was created off of original feminism. It don't make sense. Yeah. But if you do the history behind feminism, yeah, what do you find? The woman who created it was married.
Went home, baked that casserole.
And she went to college campuses and did rallies and all of this, and she went home to her husband. Yeah. So she teaching you as a black feminist to be a strong black woman, and you don't need a man, but she got a man.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's an unfair process because we don't necessarily believe that we can be good. And that shit is wordplay within itself. Because you cannot look at yourself and think, I'm good at something. Because we are not believed to be good as such. I can't find one Cheerio commercial that shows a black, not mixed, not, you know what I'm saying, really, you know what I'm saying, not quite black man and black woman. It's always a black man or a white lady or a mixed lady.
Interracial couple.
An interracial couple and shit like that. I don't have no problem with an interracial couple. I really don't. I don't give a fuck. I think, you know, we don't see enough of ourselves on TV. And that's that, remember that book we was reading, Propaganda? Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh, these you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, these motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, our everyday lives don't show us in greatness. So how can you look at yourself and say, I'm great, I'm better, I'm not this. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, when you go home, you argue with your parents, or you go home and you really not necessarily getting the attention that you need, or love that you need, or support that you need. You look for it in TV and shit.
So you pick up a title.
So you pick up a title. No, you pick a title.
You pick a title.
You pick a title. You choose. And then you grab certain characteristics that don't necessarily go within what you really feel. You go with that flow, and then it's self-sabotaging.
Yes.
Because it don't feel right to you, but you're gonna keep it going because it keeps you talked about. Any attention is good, even if it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people have discovered this.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I used to get in trouble, and my mom would be like, "Why the fuck you do that?" I don't know. I didn't know until I became an adult. I know why I did shit to get in trouble, because when my mama got off of work, she was depressed. You know what I'm saying? And she'd go in her room, and she'd stay in there. She probably was crying and shit. You know what I'm saying? Reading the Bible, whatever she was doing in there. But she was in there. She wasn't in there with us. We wasn't talking. You know what I'm saying? She just was going through her shit because my mama had shit. And if I got in trouble at school, which is very important in the black community,
right,
she gonna give me some attention, whether it's me getting talked to for hours or getting my ass whooped. But I needed it. Mm-hmm. And I wanted it. Mm-hmm. Because I felt like I wasn't getting anything. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
I definitely understand it. But I'm looking at it like this. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, when you pick a title, know what you're picking. Do the history on it and get a better understanding on it before you proclaim yourself as this title.
The root.
Because the thing is, when somebody challenge you or question you about it, you immediately get offended and say, "Oh, you don't like me because I'm a feminist. That's what I chose." No, you're not one, because you don't even know the history of feminism. And it been a big push between feminism and homosexuality and pedophilia. And it definitely been a major push in the black community.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we have so many issues that we willing to take one of these titles just, like you said, for the attention.
Yeah.
Because we wasn't getting the proper attention that we felt like we should have been getting. But now it has gotten out of hand, especially with the pedophilia shit, that what was it? In California.
Yes.
What did they make legal in California? Underage relationships, right? So now legally people can be a pedophile. Yeah. And all these people that's pushing these agendas, all these agendas swirl around the same different shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't got nothing against nobody's sexuality. And I think that's the problem, because they done took the sexuality of a person and made it a cause. I don't care if you choose to be with a man and you're a man, or you're a woman and choose to be with a woman. That's your sexual preference. But see, they done changed the preference into a cause. Oh, well, people hate me because of my sexual preference. First of all, nobody knows your preference until you put it out there. I'm not saying you have to hide it.
I think being with a child is not a preference.
No. That's some sick shit. That's some sick shit. How could you be with a child if you got kids that's old enough or the same age as your child? That doesn't equate to me. It doesn't register to me. But I was taught differently. Yeah. You know, now you can't even say things of these natures because you get hit with hate speech. How's it hate speech for me to tell the truth?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you are what you are out there, what you represent, what title, if you find this offensive, don't be offended, because it's not meant to offend you. It's really to give people a better understanding on, number one, what's going on in the world, and two, how things are. Because, like I said, a preference and a cause should be separate, but it's not. That's just like I said, if I say I love eggs, and people say, that's murder, you're eating baby chickens. Aborted baby chickens. I'm going to say, wait, that's a hate speech. Why would I say that? Because that's my preference, and that's your preference. But that's how it's going. It might not be the exact same thing, but that's how the method is. So, it's difficult, especially when you're raising 3 girls. We don't have cable, because cable is showing too much over sexualized situations that my kids don't need to see. It's getting to the point where all these apps are doing it now. Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus. Disney Plus, what was that? One of them damn shows, it was 2 kings.
Yeah.
And they was married.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I feel like it's not like, you know how I am. That's what my kids choose. That's what my kids choose. But it is their choice, not something that they are influenced to doing.
Right.
That day, remember we saw that shit where that drag queen was running around reading to the kids and shit? Like,
right.
No. And my sister gay. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got shit against it. But I don't want it to be a pressure. I want it to be, this is something that they choose to do. Right.
It's a preference. It's a choice. It's what they prefer.
Yeah.
But what they doing is what people not really saying or being honest about, is imprinting that shit on children at a way too early age.
Propaganda.
When we talking about kids that view these videos and TV shows on these apps like Disney Plus are 8 and under.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So kids this young, they're not active. They don't know nothing about sex and preferences and none of this, but y'all teaching them this. So now the kids come as parents, why was 2 kings married?
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, what?
Right. My 7 years old, I'm not finna have this talk with her. It's not time.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They have, like you said, the propaganda machine has spit out and said, we need to get to these kids younger. And, it's a hate crime not to play our stuff. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because you might say it's a hate crime, but I'm telling you, in my house, it get no play.
Yeah.
And it's not me having hate for anybody. It's my children are not old enough to be on that level to where they choosing their sexual preference.
Right.
And it shouldn't be that.
Because even if they watch something regular that's just what we would call a normal relationship, I'm like, oh hell no, that kissing shit,
That's why we had to cut out a lot of the TV shows like Casey Undercover and all of that, because it went from an innocent TV show to she was developing into her adulthood. Right. She started dating and kissing and stuff, and I'm like, nah, y'all can't watch this.
Yeah.
We done.
We not yet.
We done. Block.
Exactly. And it you can't necessarily, and I'm not saying we trying to shelter our kids from all the bullshit that go on in the world. Hell no. But I feel like times is appropriate. Like, you have a time when you talk to your children about certain shit. You don't let shit happen and then talk to your child. It's like, somebody broke in my house, now I'm gonna buy guns. No, motherfucker, buy guns before you got a house. Buy guns. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself.
Right.
And I feel like, I think everybody needs to get better with the process. Don't let bullshit hit you and then get prepared for that bullshit again. you don't get struck by lightning twice. If
Right.
you do, you an unlucky ass motherfucker by a horseshoe. You know what I'm saying? Or rabbit's foot.
All I can tell you is we monetize our children the same way YouTube monetizing their content with people. We are on them, and we make sure that we check out these different cartoons and episodes of different cartoons before we allow them to watch it or watch seasons and seasons of it.
We'll watch a cartoon and our kids will be straight up be like, Mama, can I watch this? What is it? We gotta watch it first. That's how we do shit. It's not all willy-nilly like other people. But see, you have people that don't do that, and then your kids around them, and it's just like you do. You know what I'm saying? It's just all fucked up.
You know, just thinking about this bring me back to D-Wade's son. You know, which he don't identify as a son anymore. And he about 14 now?
I don't know.
Yeah, he about 14 now. You know, and that's my thing. Like, at an early age, they imprinted on this child, you know, to be feminine. And everybody trying to make it seem like, oh, well, kids should be what they want to. Why kids can't be kids?
Oh.
Why kids gotta wear why kids gotta be boys that wear tutus and get their nails painted? Cause guess what? It costs to get your fingernails painted. What kids you know get their nails painted once a week?
Right.
That's not something that a child do.
Right. I know my mama wouldn't have never let Dion wear no damn fingernail polish. She would have beat that polish clean off his hands. You hear me? Boy would have had nubs.
And that bring it way back down to when you give a boy, a child, a little, let's say a 1-year-old, a baby doll to play with. What are you trying to do? What is your real angle for giving your son a doll? If that's what you do, or this person's son a doll?
Yeah, and then also the mental thing, because you do have a lot of mothers, like I said, living with that hurt. They talk so bad about just men that the boy don't want to be a man. You know,
he want to be loved like his mama, like her friends supposedly love her. He want to dress like her.
Yeah.
Like I remember listening to one guy. He said, "Yeah, my mama used to dance around in the mirror and stuff, and I used to mock her."
And she gave him that support.
Yeah.
If he wasn't doing that, she didn't give a fuck about what he had going on. You like the boy shit. It was the attention of the dancing, and then it's just like, oh, y'all, man, y'all fucking y'all kids. Oh.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And I hate to see that in these days. You know, when kids can't be kids, it shouldn't be no fucking debate that you keep man's bathroom man and women's bathroom women just in case kids have to use a bathroom. And nobody's daughter got to go in there and see a man in a woman's bathroom talking about it's gender neutral.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because legally, if this man who so-called identify as a woman go in a gender neutral bathroom and expose himself, is that not illegal? And a child in there?
Yeah.
Is that not illegal?
Yeah.
But see, they changing it.
Yeah.
That's what people not seeing.
It's like, how can I not expose myself? I'm in the bathroom.
Right. Exactly.
She should have covered her eyes.
Exactly. I don't care if you identify as whatever you identify. That's your preference. That's your choice. But I feel like for the sake of other people, it shouldn't be, we're going to merge this and it's just going to be a gender neutral bathroom and then everybody can use it. And we're going to put 12 stalls in here and 6 sinks and who go for what you know. I got 3 girls and it's hard for me when I go out in public because I got to make sure, hey, you gotta use the bathroom. You gotta use the bathroom before we leave.
Yeah.
If we not stopping in public. Let me stop over your nana house and see if you can use the bathroom.
Bathroom break.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I'm not doing that shit because that means I have to go in the women's bathroom with my children
because you don't trust your child to go to.
Exactly. I don't trust people to let my child go in there and use the bathroom on their own.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm like, fuck a public restroom. I take them to somebody's restroom or to wherever we at, say when we went to Florida.
Yeah.
We on the way back to the hotel. You hold it in. We ain't nothing but 2 minutes away. 3 minutes away, 5 minutes away. You can hold it. Our daddy believe in you.
You dumb. Yeah. And that's just the precautions you got to take. And it's scary having kids. Like, I remember, I don't know. I always knew something just having kids is a scary process. And you have to have the toughness, the nerves, the understanding of the way of the world, because you have to have those talks with your child. Like, one of my favorite movies, Taken, right? And when baby girl called him under the bed, he was like, listen to me, these motherfuckers gonna take you, but I'm coming to get you. He told her what was to come. He didn't say, baby, it's gonna be all right.
Right.
No. Like Lucy 12. And when we talk to her, the world ugly. It ain't sugary shit that's floating around in the air. You can't trust everybody. But see,
she don't like it.
No.
But I think, as she continue to grow and become into her adulthood, I think she'll be better prepared and understand it more then, because she'll be like, oh, damn, that's what I get it now. They didn't hold back. They told me everything. So when it happened, I know it.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think parenting, that's what parenting is. You preparing your child to go off into the world, not pushing your child out of your world. You get what I'm saying? And I think it's more appropriate because, you have to tell your kid these things. The world fucked up, true enough, but this is yours. And this is your life. And you have to be able to maneuver through all this shit with the proper tools that I'm going to give you. Now, if you don't choose to use these tools, that's your decision. But I have to it's my obligation to get this shit to you.
That's right.
And it's not fair that we got so many kids out here that don't have them. And we have the parents that don't have them either. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, Mama, why you ain't teach me this shit? I ain't know either. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute. When did you learn?
Exactly.
Well, I'm still learning. Okay, can we come together now? Hey, I don't know. You want to go to the next one?
You wanted to be a next one?
Yeah. I feel like talking.
Okay. Well, we're gonna end this. Well, we're not gonna end it. We're gonna go cut to commercial. Like they say in showbiz, cut to commercial break. Right. We'll be right back after these messages.